Dave, first of all, I just want to talk about, I know you weren't able to go, but you would be in touch, of course, when you get a chance to talk to your staff. Game against Colchester last night, of course, the headlines have been made by a trialist that you've had with you. You've got a hat-trick. I know you can't reveal too much, but is that something that, first of all, you're pleased about, that somebody's you've given the chance and gone and scored some goals?
Yeah, of course. We're constantly looking to improve, and, we don't want to say too much as a trialist. But it's always pleasing when you think, something, you hope that it's what you'd expect. Now, it's not a bad start. I'll definitely get to see the next game that he plays, and we'll go from there.
The thing about it, he's coming into a professional football club. For both sides, it's win-win, really, isn't it?
Of course. He's been at a professional football club before and probably underperformed. I think he'd probably say that himself. Maybe he's learned a bit, maybe he's matured a bit. He's got some good grounding at home, because his dad has been in the game for a long time. So, we'll see how he gets on in the next week or two, and we'll go from there.
And the other side of that, when I looked at that team sheet, Billy Davies appeared as well. How pleased are you that that's gone right for him before the end of the season, first of all?
Yeah, it's important. Billy has become a real important figure for us. His height, his stature, he's developing well. It's took us a while. I can't emphasise how much that loan spell at Yeovil helped him. All the other loan spells helped him in terms of getting used to men's football, but the one at Yeovil and maturing and becoming a man and leaving the hotel of mum and dad in North Wales where he lives really made him mature and made him understand. Don't get me wrong, he's still got lots to learn, but he's prepared to do that, and he works hard, Bill. So that was a pleasing thing as well.
I know it's early, but how far would you think he's away from joining you, having seen him go through all the, the treatment room work that he's done?
Well, with Bill, he was actually allowed to do some sort of low-level stuff all the way through. He couldn't raise his heart rate too much, until we had a secondary scan at the end of last month, and then it was sort of like all action stations. But before then, he sort of could do low-level stuff. So he's never gone to zero, if you like, in terms of fitness. But you've got to be so careful. The last thing you want to do is bring him back and they pull a hamstring or something. And don't get me wrong, we might have to gamble on that sense, but I don't know, because I haven't spoken to Bill, I haven't spoken to the physios or sports scientists. So, Wednesday to Saturday's hard, and but maybe, I don't know. It's a bit too early to tell. He might be stiff as a board. So look, we've got, that'll be a discussion to be had tomorrow and see where we get to. But the good thing is that he's back on the football pitch. That's the main thing.
Didn't want to be putting these type of questions to you when we started out in sort of August time of where your season was going to develop. But you know what's at stake at the weekend. It could be a real crunch day for you, because you've got to go and win it, really.
Yeah. We've had to win for the last few weeks, and we haven't. So the game's running out, and if you don't keep winning soon enough, then the inevitable happens. Well, we don't want the inevitable to happen. We've got to make sure that we fight until the last kick of the ball, and hopefully that's at Lincoln.
Yeah, that is the aim, is it? That's the thing that you're trying to still get into your players. You talked about playing for pride and things like that. That's still right at the top, is it?
Yes, I think so. It's not just pride. I think that should be given. It's making sure you're better than the week before. It's making sure it's making sure that your mindset is clear. I appreciate it's difficult. It's like everything that's gone before. That shouldn't affect your performance. You've got to make sure that you've got to make sure that you're professional at all times, and you've got to make sure that you're trying to be better than what you were the week before. And if we do that, then we get to where we need to be. Now, if that takes longer than 12 months, then so be it. that takes 18 months, like it did last time. It took us 18 months to get them to start believing. And then it took us another sort of, whatever it was, 12, 18 months for them to really, 6 months really, to then get going. So it took us 2 years to get something, something like. So that's I'm not sure that's going to be much different, but then we've got to make sure that they keep improving every week.
There's no doubt about it. Nobody wanted to have this situation. For you on a personal note, it's a horrible feeling because it could be a relegation for you on your CV. But how confident are you that what's going on and what you're trying to put into place in terms of people coming in to join in the staff and looking like a trialist that you've mentioned? How confident are you that you can start that rebuilding programme?
Yeah, look, we've had 4 years of success on success. We've always finished higher than with the previous season. That doesn't mean we become fantastic, but we were working, and what we were doing was working. Obviously, we had a terrible summer. We all know that, and we've got to right them wrongs. And it took us, a fairly hefty review into that. So we think we're going to get it right. I suppose time will tell. And there'll still be some bumps in the road, without a shadow of a doubt. That's how it is. But we've got to get more signings right than wrong. That's for certain. But the structure of the football club, the lease of life that the new directors have given, or more importantly, the old majority shareholder leaving, allows us to input resources where we feel they're necessary, up to a given value of what we've got, which is still nowhere near what everyone else has got, but we're doing it our way, and I think that's really important, because I think that gives us the best chance.
How can you break a losing mentality? Because that's one thing you've really got to get into. You don't want that to go over into the start of next year. So what can you and your coaches do to break that mentality?
Yeah, I think you've got to give the players the belief that they're actually good players. They're actually League One players. They're there on merit, and that's easy to say, and it's hard to put into practice. For times of the night, we were as good as MK Dons. The fact was that it was a proper football game, wasn't it? It was two teams trying to play football, and at times we played some good stuff. Did we do it often enough and for long enough? No, we didn't. But that's where we are. It's not easy to say, and it's not just accepting it. We've got to make sure that Doncaster on Saturday and Wimbledon and Sheffield Wednesday, we've got to make sure we have longer periods of the game and we're more effective in them periods of the game, and we've got constantly trying to improve our way and get better. And if you do that, then you will win games, because there's a renewed belief that actually we're not as bad as what I thought or what we thought, and then you hopefully get across the line in one game and it's suddenly like, there you go, that's what's needed.
Everybody connected to the football club will want to have that by its name following Alexander, but if it does happen, does that give you again a real motivation inside you to think, we may have failed this year, which we probably have, but I'm going to bounce back, I'm going to prove what I can do again? I can remember Hartlepool away and losing 4-0 on a Tuesday night, and me saying that some of the players are going to be milkmen, and oblivion was round the corner. We're far removed from that, but we've got to make sure that we're not sowing the seeds. We're not killing ourselves on. We all know we're all hurting. Nobody wants relegation on their CV or by their name or whatever. And I'm no different. And we've got to make sure that we do everything we can to mitigate that and build. For next season, irrespective of division, we've got to make sure we're constantly building. That's what we do. We build footballers, we build football teams, and it's very difficult when you've lost all your best players. But that's the business model, and that's the promise we made to Perry Ng at 6, to Charlie Kirk at 6. So that's how it is.
So that's facts, and it's not a problem. But we've got to make sure, and I know that next time when we build a good team and we get promoted, I know that next time we'll be better prepared for this period, and that's important.
You're talking about building. We'll just talk about Doncaster in a moment or two's time. But you're trying to build your staff in terms of your data analysis and your recruitment person. Where are you with that? Is that close? And before you announce it all?
Yeah, we'll announce that in due course, but we think we're close.
So you're well pleased that you've got it really down to where you want now, because you've said you've got to hit the ground running, and you don't want to be wasting time, because it's a very important two roles. Yeah,
it is 100%. 100%. We've got to make sure that we share the load, that we've got greater resources, both in terms of time, effort, and knowledge in that area specifically, so that we've devised a process that allows us to have more rigour in it, so that there's more checks and balances, if you like. So we're hopeful that that's going to prove fruitful. Although we're getting on, we've got to start cracking on, and and hopefully that'll happen in the next week or so.
Well, the most important thing is Saturday afternoon. It's a game that gives you that next opportunity to go and win a football match, and that's what football's all about.
Of course it is. We've got to make sure that we win the game. There's no alternative, is it? It's last chance saloon in that sense. We've got to delay walking into last chance saloon, if you like. Thankfully, we've got the team that's only one place above us, I think. So it gives us the greatest opportunity, and we've got to make sure we grasp it.